Before GLP-1s were the shiny new toy of the weight loss industry, there was gastric bypass. You don't hear as much about this surgery these days, as the newer drugs are hogging all the limelight. But make no mistake, these procedures are still very much a thing. I've covered this subject in previous videos. I've looked at the case of Kip Moore, for example, a former carnivore influencer who recently underwent this procedure. I've also broken down the data of how a staggering 20% of patients face serious issues with post-operative alcoholism. Now, this is a risk that I'm going to guess is far too often glossed over in the doctor's office, if it's brought up at all. But today, I'm moving past the data and into lived long-term experience. I sat down with Kristy Hill. Kristy had gastric bypass, specifically the Roux-en-Y procedure, years ago. She's going to share her firsthand account of what led her to have the operation in the first place, her challenges, her successes, and where she is today, and how she finally found a diet solution that actually worked for her. If you're considering this operation, or you've already had it and you're on the other side and you're looking for some answers, this is a conversation that you need to hear. So let's get into it right here on Black Box Warning.
Got a lot to say, can't hold it in this time. Got no filter, I got no filter. No filter, I got no filter. No filter, I got no filter. No filter, I got no filter.
Kristy, welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for
Hi.
doing this. I think what I want to start you off with is just basically if you could give everybody a rundown of like what your life was like, growing up, and did you have troubles with weight gain and things like that? Like, what was it like? And then how did things change as you got older? That sort of thing.
Okay. Well, I was really active as a little kid. Like I was pretty much a tomboy. Outside playing in the dirt, playing with trucks, building forts and stuff with my brother.
Mhm.
We had these trees outside and we were always
Mhm.
building something in there,
Yeah, I
I
made
love
mud
being
pies.
outside.
I can
Yes,
relate.
those too. I
I ate
can
them too,
clearly
unfortunately.
remember. No, I would try to serve them to my brother.
There you go. That's a
Yeah.
smart way to do it. I should have done that.
There you
Yeah.
go. But yeah, just very active. I would say right about as I was getting school age, like kindergarten age, kind of started getting a little chunky. Um, Not real bad, but just I'm not sure what happened, but could have been what we were eating. My mom cooked like all the time. It's not like I can never remember when I was little us like going to McDonald's or any of that. Like we
Mhm.
never did that. My mom always cooked. Um, Even if it was just hamburger helper,
Mhm.
hot dogs. Like it wasn't like the best food
Mhm.
sometimes, but it was still we didn't go out to eat, or have
Mhm.
a lot of junk. Um, and so it was about that time, and then kind of going through grade school, I was getting heavier. Kids are picking on you, because you're
Mhm.
overweight or whatever. Um, and then it got to be about junior high. Um, that's when I really started getting up there. I think I'm trying to remember. I was probably between 160 and 180 when I was like in sixth,
Okay.
seventh grade.
And you're about
Um,
5'6", right?
I'm 5'6",
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I think the weight numbers are right. I'm trying to remember because I don't have them
Mhm.
written down this time,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
um, I was, big for my age. And at the
Mhm.
time in junior high, I wasn't even 5'6" yet.
Mhm.
Um, and so it was about that time that my doctor, was talking to my parents about putting me on a diet. And that's pretty much from that time on, it was like
Mhm.
diet back, all these different diets.
Mhm.
Like the very first one was the standard, where they tell you to keep it. I think at that age, I actually don't think it got very much higher. I think I was supposed to take in like 1,200 calories a day.
Mhm.
Um, and for whatever reason, one of the things I remember them telling me for a snack would to be to have like 2 sheets of graham crackers and some skim milk. And like looking back, it's like, cool, carbs and sugar. Like, yeah, great snack.
Yeah.
I'm sure I
Yeah.
won't be hungry in 5 minutes after that.
Hmm.
Um, and for the most part, my parents they tried their best, but like it would get, and I really wouldn't lose a whole lot, a little bit.
Hmm.
Um, but I was just hungry. Like you'd get just this little bit of food or whatever, and they're supposed to be like, okay, that's enough. Now you can't have any more until your snack that's going to make you even hungrier. And my mom would feel bad and kind of give in, and then we would go back
Hmm.
to eating whatever normal for our family. Um, and that kind of continued on. Then once I got into high school, um, I really started putting on weight. I would say between eighth grade and like my freshman year, I'd really put on a lot of weight. Um, by the time I got out of high school, I know I was close to 300 pounds.
Oh, okay.
And then, going through high school, it's like, yeah, people tease you in grade school, junior high, it starts to get a little bit
Hmm.
worse. And then by the time you get to high school, it's horrible.
Hmm.
Um, I I'm pretty sure I told the part before, and it's like certain things really do stick in your head and stay with you psychologically. And it was one of the times that I was mm, I was maybe sophomore, junior, I think, on one of my diets, and by the time I got to high school, I was kind of doing my own. Like it wasn't my mom being the one doing me, so I would do like salad with the fat-free dressing and fat-free shredded cheese. And that's like I would maybe have two of those a day, and that's it. Basically starving myself to try to lose weight because you got to cut the fat, you got to cut the calories, and that's all you got to do, and then move. That's what they tell you. And it did work, and I did lose, but like in the meantime, like even when you're trying to do it, like in school, and it just happened to be one of the times I was out, like just trying to walk. Um, like a car load of kids came driving by and rolled down their window, and it's like, you're always going to be fat. And at that point I had already started losing weight, and so like to hear that, it's like, Jesus, I'm trying. You guys make fun
Hmm.
of me this way. I'm trying to lose it. I'm starting to lose it, and now you're just, oh, you're always going
Hmm.
to be fat. Like,
And it starts, and one thing I'll say about that is that a big part of the weight, well, part of it is the standard American diet, meaning the packaged food.
yeah.
So the packaged food and the massive amounts of carbs that
Mm-hmm.
on standard American we eat starts the cyclic cravings, right? So what you're doing
Oh,
is fighting the
100%.
cravings.
Yeah.
And when you go through things, especially God, a teenager in high school, and you because you're already an emotional wreck just from the hormones, but
Yeah.
like you have someone do something like that to you, that's where the binging, like, I think comes in, or at least it was, for a lot of people. And for me, I didn't go through that when I was in high school because I never had weight problems until much later. But later, when I'd have problems at work and something terrible would happen, that is when I've already got the carb cycle. I'm already on that
Mm-hmm.
carb cycle going in circles. And then someone does something to me, and the emotional binging like would start. So
Mm-hmm.
was that what you noticed, like, or that you would do emotionally? Would you eat more? I mean, how did that work?
It was almost like a cycle all on its own, because like you would have these people saying these things or treating you a certain way, and you'd been doing really good and keep telling yourself, I can do this,
Mhm.
there's a purpose to it. If
Mhm.
going through, first of all, starving yourself and killing
Mhm.
yourself trying to exercise, like at least, hey, I'm getting somewhere and I'm making progress. And
Mhm.
then something like that happens, and you're just like, what is the point of
Mhm.
killing myself? So it's like, you know what, I'm just gonna have, instead of having my salad, I'm
Mhm.
gonna have dinner with the rest of the family. We're gonna have meatloaf and mashed
Mhm.
potatoes and bread with butter,
Mhm.
and all the like, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
give myself some comfort, because
Yeah.
what's the point of me trying if
Mhm.
all it's gonna happen is
Yeah.
what, I'm
Did
still gonna get flack for it.
Yeah,
And
did
it
you have a little
just
voice? Did you have a little voice that would tell you, like, when things would happen, like, well, just just this once. And
Yeah,
I would do, and here's
yeah,
another thing that I would do like later, like when I was gaining weight, because I was 100 pounds overweight, so I didn't, have it as bad as a lot of people, but I was very uncomfortable and miserable when I was.
it's bad enough. Like,
Yeah.
even if it's 30 pounds, it's it's
It
mostly up
affects
in
you.
here. Yeah.
Yeah.
It,
But
like,
I would, the thing I would do with the little voice is like which is, I think is funny, like the psychology of this is it
yeah.
would tell me, it would go, it would strategize and scheme. It would say,
Hmm.
well, no, just go ahead and you're going to have this, ho ho or ding dong or whatever it was. You're going to eat this, but you're not going to eat for the rest of the day. And then
Right.
tomorrow you're going to fast. It's like, and that is
Yes.
complete. It would strategize these little scenarios, and I'm like, where the hell's that voice coming from, and how do I make it shut up? If it wasn't for that, and a lot of times, like, it wasn't for that because you're starving yourself, but the mental games are just crazy. So did you
Hmm.
you experience
Oh,
that?
100%. Like, I kind of forgot about that actually. So
Yeah.
yeah, same thing. Because
Mm-hmm.
you tell yourself, like, you know what? Just have this one. And like you
Mm-hmm.
said, oh, I just won't eat for the rest of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And like literally as you're taking bites of it and it hits you, you're just like, well, I've already messed up for the day and I'm
Mm-hmm.
already having one.
Oh yeah, you've already screwed up. So why don't we just
Yeah,
keep on this
I'll
train?
just
Yep.
have
Yep.
another, like, I'm not eating anything else today, so I'll just, how many calories is this?
Mm-hmm.
And so you have two, or you have another handful. My
Mm-hmm.
biggest was chips. I love crunchy salty.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean I love my sweets too, don't get me wrong, but
Mm-hmm.
or both together would be, even better in my case. But um, yeah, it starts out a little bit, and then like, well, I'll have a little bit more. And it's like, well, you
Mm-hmm.
know what? I've already gone this far because I'm all or nothing. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
100% in, or once I go out, it's like
Yeah.
I'm way out. You
Yeah.
know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna go
Yeah.
way off the rails. But yeah, that voice is like
Mm-hmm.
it's not even a devil and angel on your shoulder. It's just like
Mm-hmm.
straight up devil sitting over here, and then you got another little one over here, and like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's not a bad
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. And then one of the things about the little voice is that I think everybody has that. And
Mm,
another thing is the binging aspect. So binging, and this is gonna kind of uh have a lot of pertinence to like what we're about to talk about. Your when you get to you go through your story, get to gastric bypass land,
mhm.
is that the binging, you have to, at least in my case, and a lot of people I've talked to, is when you're binging for comfort, cramming a bunch of food in your mouth or eating a lot at once is part of that experience.
Yeah,
So if you can't do that, like, you're just kind of cut off from your emotional crutch, I think. And that's one of the, I think, many problems that you're going to discuss. But
yeah,
you're in high school, just going through torture, as high school is the torture. I mean, it's
yeah.
like
It's
American high
already
school is
bad
pretty much,
enough.
yeah, it's like a hazing ritual or something that lasts for 3 years or 4 years.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
yeah, just go from there. What happened like next?
So graduated high school, ended up right around that time. It was actually the day before my senior year, the first day, I had my first panic attack.
Uh,
Um, and this is the part that I hadn't really got to get into the mental that you get with this. And I mean, I had probably didn't have been depressed, but I'd never had to deal with anxiety before until that time. So that's when the anxiety started kicking in, which made everything about a million times worse. So I had just kind of gotten through the rest of high school the best I could, and then graduated. Um, didn't, it almost makes you homebound. I don't know if anybody else has dealt with anxiety panic attack. You're afraid to go out because you're afraid to have a panic attack in public, and that kind of just brings a whole new spin to everything. And so I was working a job or whatever, but I just literally, from if I didn't have to go, like if I didn't have to go to work, if I didn't have to go to the store or whatever, I would just go home. And when you're bored and lonely and you need the comfort, what are you going to do? Right? You go to the comfort foods, the things that give you that pleasure. after high school is when I really, really, really started gaining the weight. Because I could kind of hide in the house for the most part. I was definitely close to 300 when I graduated. By the time I had my son, which I was 23 when I had him, I was easily like 350 pounds,
Wow.
easily. And maybe even more. I'm going to say probably
Mm-hmm.
more, like looking back, thinking back on the pictures. Um, so I had him, and he was the moment for me when I decided that I wanted to do this bypass. Um, was when he was in preschool and we were going on a field trip. It was a field trip to the zoo, and it was awful for me the whole trip. Physically, I hurt, like my knees hurt, my feet hurt, my back hurt,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I was trying really hard, to like be in a good mood this whole time because here's my cute little son having fun at
Mm-hmm.
the zoo, and I just want him to have a good time. So it's like you try to plaster that smile on your face and you're just like dying on the inside. And that was really the first like outing I had had with him for like school functions. And it just kind of dawned on me. It's like, what are you going to do? Like, this is the first, uh, you
Mm-hmm.
know, beginning of him having
Mm-hmm.
you there with these, like, you not want to go to these things. You just going to sit them out because it's hard for you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, no, I need to do something.
One of my biggest regrets is thinking back when I was 100 pounds overweight, sick, not in good health, and I was hiding from the world. I did what I had to do. If I had
Hmm.
to go to a school thing, I would, but I wouldn't sign up for them.
Right.
I wouldn't do a lot of extra stuff. I took care of them, made sure they had everything they needed. I loved them, and we all lived in the same house, and I was there, I was present, but not really. I was checked out because I was a big person that would not be seen in public, and the clothes. Oh God, going to buy clothes, I was miserable. So I was
Yeah.
just an unhappy person, like all the way around. But that guilt is a big thing for when you're looking at what your options are. You want to be there for your kids. You start to feel bad. Is that something
Oh,
that you kind of felt?
1,000,000%. Yeah. Yeah, because like you said, up until that time, yeah, you're miserable, but it's like your own misery. You're only affecting yourself. But then you see like your kids and it's like, this isn't fair. Like he should have a life, not worried about mom not being able to, go with because she hurts because she goes out, she's sad, stuff like that. It's like they deserve better. And like, even if you don't think you deserve better at the time while you're going through it, you look and see what it's doing to your kids, and it's like, okay, they deserve better. And it's like the kick in the butt that you need sometimes to, really figure out what you need to do. I mean, shoot, even now, the guilt, still, I look back and think about it. It's like,
I do too.
because, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I
it's
have the
something
same
you can't
problem.
get back,
Yeah.
even though things
Mm,
changed and you did what you did. It's like,
mm,
how much did I lose? And so, yeah, that was really my wake up call. Like, I've got to figure out what to do. And, every diet that I'd ever been on, because I tried everything, everything. And, like I said, this sometimes it would work, sometimes it would work better. Usually the best methods for me working, unfortunately, was starving myself and exercising myself to death. It would work because it would work faster. And then, kind of, how long can you go starving yourself? And before it's like, okay, I'm just done. Like, I want to eat. And then you kind of, all the weight you lost and then some. And just yo-yo forever. And I just couldn't figure out, like, I knew I need to do something, but what can I do? I need something that's actually going to work. And then you start to feel super bad because it's like, God, if I could just not be hungry like I am all the time, like that would fix everything. I just need to not eat. Why can't you just not eat? At the time, one of the girls that I had gone to school with, I saw that because she was real big too, not as big as I was, um, but fairly close. Um, I had seen her and she had like dropped down. I think was smaller than I am now. She had just went to like nothing, like melted. And I was like, because I had seen her not that long ago, less than 2 years, you know? I'm like, what did you do? Tell me your secrets, you know, because I need to lose that weight now too, you know, I
Mm-hmm.
need it. And she's told me that she'd had gastric bypass. And I'd heard of it obviously before, but I was like, so like tell me, when you're going through it. And now granted, she was only not even 2 years into it, had a great experience, which if you'd have came to me 2 years into mine, I'd have been like, it's wonderful,
Mm-hmm. Honeymoon
And
phase, kind of.
yeah, like
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, exactly. Like, oh, it's all great now
Yeah.
until you really get into it.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you go into that, I mean, other than the weight issues and like some physical pain, I did not have any real health issues, like as far as
Mm-hmm.
diabetes or high blood pressure, heart problems, nothing serious yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I was only 27 when I had the surgery. So
Mm-hmm.
down the line, you know it was coming. Literally, when you're going into that, like first and foremost in your head is, I just need to lose the weight. All
Mm-hmm.
you care about is making that scale go down.
Yep.
And when you see other people doing it as quickly as it does happen, because it does
Mm-hmm.
happen fast.
And one thing
Um,
I'll say about that desperation that you're talking
yeah,
about, that I've done a video basically on, I think it's called "Dying to Be Thin," generational desperation, and
yeah,
I mean, because your mama and you, and I mean, you go back and everyone's so desperate, like they're eating AIDS candies and doing all kind of stuff,
yeah,
and one of the things you never want to do, I don't know if your parents ever told you, don't, when you're desperate or you are in a bad way, don't ever make a major decision, right?
yes.
But the gastric
Very, very
bypass,
true.
gastric bypass is always usually made by really desperate people, so that I don't know,
100%.
I just think that's interesting, from the psychological perspective.
No,
But
it's
yeah,
100% true.
yeah.
And um, it's almost like when someone's in withdrawal from drugs or alcohol, they're going to
Mhm.
do desperate things because they're, trying to get
Mhm.
that. And
Yeah.
that's our like fix is like, I just need to be skinny. I just
Mhm.
need to be
And it'll
skinny.
solve all your problems, because I know that
Oh,
just a
yeah.
100 pounds overweight, and I really believed this, like in a way.
Yeah.
It's not logical, but I believed it. When I was 100 pounds overweight, and every day I would get up and just be miserable and feel bad, I'm like, and then I was ashamed, and just at 100 pounds overweight, and I was like, if I could just starve myself, and I used to fantasize about someone locking me up in a sanitarium and not giving me any food and living off my body fat. I mean, I really thought about stuff like this, and then I'm like, everything would be better. My life would be complete, and that's crazy, but it's the
Yeah.
way we all think. It's
Yeah.
common. So,
Well, because what you see, like, we really don't know, yeah, you're out in the world, but you go to school, you go to work, but then you come
mm-hmm,
home to your own house, you don't see what goes on at other people's houses and in their
mm-hmm,
private lives. All you see is, people that are skinny,
mm-hmm,
clearly getting treated better than you, everything's
mm-hmm,
better when you're skinny. So if I just get
yeah,
skinny, my life is going to be good too. You don't see
mm-hmm,
what goes on behind closed doors. And
mm-hmm,
it's that's like physical is everything to everyone because it's what everyone
mm-hmm,
can see.
yep,
So
yep,
you think in the back of your head, all I got to do is just lose weight, my life's going to be perfect.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
So
not the
you saw, so
case.
you saw, so you see Skinny Minnie come in, and you're like,
Yeah.
what did you
Yeah, I was just
do?
like,
Yeah.
and she's like, she got me in contact with her doctor because her doctor kind of helped her go through, um, getting approval with your insurance. And you have to do, it's like usually like a 6 month period from the time you start. You have to see a psychologist, which it consisted of like a 2 minute phone call when I
Hmm.
talked
And
to a
what year was
psychologist.
this? What year was this, by the way?
2007.
I bet you they don't do any of that now.
I don't think so.
I
I
think it's like
really don't
drive
think
through.
so.
Yeah.
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 Well, because there's actually been a couple people that I've known since mine, two or three, that I've desperately tried to talk them out of doing a bypass. They didn't do the
Mm-hmm.
Roux-en-Y like I
Mm-hmm.
did, the more severe one. They did the I guess it's just a standard bypass now.
The
Yeah.
mini gastric bypass is simpler but more popular, I think. And then they've got duodenal switch, which
Yeah,
is
that
more
one, no,
aggressive, yeah,
that,
more
oof,
serious. And
yeah.
then, and I'll put up on the screen, different definitions of what these things are. But then you have SADS,
Yeah,
which
the
I said sounded like
sadistic one you were
sadistic.
talking
Yeah, is
about.
that short for
Mm-mm.
sadistic? I don't know. But
It gotta
then
be.
you got the serious one. So you had the Roux-en-Y.
Hmm.
Or that is that what she had? She had the
She
Roux-en-Y.
had the Roux-en-Y too. I think at
Okay.
that time there was only Roux-en-Y or the duodenal switch.
Okay.
And the
Okay.
duodenal switch, thank God, because I was big enough that I probably would have qualified for it. But the doctor kind of talked me into like, let's do this one. I think you'll do good
Yeah.
on this one. So I was like, okay. So thank God I didn't go that route because I don't even want to think of how bad it would be now. So I was just like, here's my new life goal. Like, let's get on this. And they,
Yeah.
went through everything. You have to do like right before the surgery, you have to do a liquid diet. And up until that point, I could not tell you the last time I was on a scale. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Mostly because if I was at that, like I couldn't even register. That's how bad it
Oh,
was.
wow.
And when I went to the day of the surgery, I had been on a 2-week liquid diet before, and that's when I weighed 404 pounds when I
Oh,
went in there
okay.
the day of the surgery. So I had been on a liquid diet for 2 weeks. I don't know if you've ever been on a liquid diet, but
Mm-hmm.
like you
Yeah.
lose a lot. So I
Yeah.
don't even know how big I actually had gotten. Surgery went well. Um, I think I got to go home after 2 days, I think. And then, of course, you're on like nothing but liquid. And I did everything they told me to, like to a T, like which I had always done. Anytime a doctor new diet or whatever, I did everything to a T, and that's why you always blame yourself because
Mm-hmm.
you think everything they tell you is gold and gospel, and it's like, what is
Mm-hmm.
wrong with me that I can't just do this? So I did exactly that after because like to me this was my final option. Um, if you can't do this, then
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
this is it.
you're headed for an early grave, like is what
Yeah.
you're facing. And also, that's another. When I was thinking, and again, just 100 pounds overweight, I'm thinking I'm going to be dead. Like I started developing medical conditions, and I had the obesity, and I'm looking at my kids, going, who's going to take care of you if something happens to
Yeah.
me? That's another thing, and that's like legitimate desperation. So when I talk about desperation, I mean I feel nothing but empathy for people who have even more weight to lose,
Hmm.
because if I was thinking that with just what I had, which is significant, but it's like it's nothing near like what you were battling with.
Just in my family, we have heart problems, we have cancer,
Mm.
we have diabetes, and dementia. I lost my dad to kidney failure.
Mm.
He was overweight like me. And he had
Okay.
always been like you, physically fit and everything and super active. He was in the army. Thinking back, he had to have been maybe 30 when he started gaining weight.
Mm.
And he got really big too. But he and there at that point we kind of struggled together. Like we would whatever diet we were doing it together. Like we were the two that ended up
Mm.
gaining weight in our family. So I had that in the back of my mind too. He was 39 when he passed away from
Oh,
complications from kidney failure.
oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, so and I think that's why the anxiety was there even more. Like even though I didn't
Mm.
have the health problems, seeing what my dad went through,
Mm.
knowing I have my son now, it's like it makes it even the desperation like a million times worse. It's like I have to
Mm.
do something before,
Yeah.
we get anything like that.
So you have your honeymoon period. So you have the gastric
Hmm.
bypass. You don't have any complications in the beginning. Like I guess the surgery
No,
went okay.
the
You have it
surgery went
done.
good. Yep, I
And you
was
thought it was the answer
doing
to your prayers,
everything.
I'll bet
Oh, I
you.
really did. Like there was no question in my mind. Like I got this. I'm definitely going to do
Mhm.
everything. The
Mhm.
surgery is going to do all the work for me. Basically, all I got to do is just follow all the rules and I'm going to be good. And so I did. And I was
Mhm.
good. Like, you go in every so often, but like your big one is your 1 year check in with
Mhm.
your surgeon. Um, and my grandma, like the whole time that first year that I was losing weight, she's like, don't buy any new clothes. Don't get on that scale. She's like, make every time you go on like for your checkups, like that'll be a celebration time.
Mhm.
So she was like, I wasn't watching how I knew I was because my clothes would just hang off of me. Um, but when I went in and he told me that I was 194 pounds after a year. It was 1 year.
Oh,
And
wow.
he's like, my jaw
Mhm.
dropped, and he was just like, yeah, I was a complete success in his eyes for that first year. That's a lot. And I was ecstatic. Like, that that's what I thought I needed was just I need something to get it off now because that's
Mhm.
gonna help me get out of, I wanted to not have the weight. I didn't want people to look at me and judge me, and the only way to
Mhm.
do that is like you got to lose the weight, but how can I do it quickly? Because even if I do it slowly, you got the people, same ones that are
Mhm.
giving you flack even when you're trying. So it's like you really just want to feel that magic wand wave and have it be gone, and that's what it felt like
Mhm.
it was.
And as I
Um,
say, magic always comes with a price.
oh,
So,
does it? Like you rub that
yeah.
magic lamp, I
Yeah.
want to be skinny, and then the rest of the wishes, it's
Mhm.
like, okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
now comes time to pay the piper. And it like I did good for the like 2 years. I was getting my exercise, staying, which now looking back at the diet, I kind of went back and was looking at the things they told me to eat, and it was basically the same stuff that they tell you to eat before when you go to the doctor and they tell you to go on a diet, just in smaller portions.
Which is
Like
kind
it's
of
the
like
same shit.
that's
It's
crazy. It's like wait a minute. The whole point was that this was supposed to make it autopilot, right? But you're
mhm.
putting me on the same kind of food. And that brings up a good point. Is it a lot of it is processed because that's easier for you to kind of get down. Is that correct?
Oh,
Like so
yeah. So because I went back and I found the actual 7 day sample, and what do they have in there? They have their bariatric um, protein shake as part of it, their
mhm.
bariatric hot chocolate blend, all of their bariatric supplements that are ridiculously like, and it was ridiculously expensive. If I'd have like, actually bought the stuff that they were
Mhm.
telling me to buy, I'd have gone broke. I'd have had to have a whole job just to pay for
Wow.
all the, recommended things,
Mhm.
and a lot of it, like they did have obviously some things, but it was like for breakfast, a cup of skim milk, um, hot
Mhm.
cereal,
Oh.
and one egg. Like
Oh my
one
god.
egg.
That's crazy. You're getting
Yeah.
really I mean, not only, because there's malabsorption issues that come with this, but then on top of it, heck, if you were just eating like that, you would be so nutrient deprived like as a
Oh yeah.
regular like without even the surgery. That would be crazy.
hmm Their recommended daily, and I followed it, was anywhere from 900 to 1100 calories a day. And I
Wow.
usually tried to stay as low as I could, because I wanted that weight to come off even faster.
Mhm.
And
And
and it was
avoiding
just,
fat, I'm going to guess you were
oh,
avoiding. Oh yeah.
stay clear. Like,
Cuz I lived through the 90s, so it's like
yes,
you know.
snack wells and all the fat-free mayonnaise, fat-free dressing, fat-free
Mhm.
cheese, fat-free chips
Mhm.
that make you,
Lots of
you
seed
know,
oils, yeah. Yep.
yeah. And so I did, and it's like the only thing that I didn't have problems with at first, I almost had an aversion to meat after the surgery because
Mhm.
it was more to the effect that it was hard for me to digest it at the very beginning, and it was just so
Mhm.
much easier to eat mashed potatoes
Yeah.
and cooked carrots and stuff that turned into mush when you would eat it.
Mm-hmm.
And it got to the point where pretty much the only meat I would have would be like chicken breast. And it's
Mm-hmm.
because I could digest it a lot
Mm-hmm.
easier.
And again, with
And yeah,
the nutritional aspect of that, I call it carnivore cardboard.
yeah,
because
it
because
ain't
there's
even real. Like,
nutrient profiles not real extensive on chicken, but that's yeah,
mm-mm.
yeah.
Like just to put it in perspective, I haven't eaten chicken. Let's see, I've been carnivore for about 2.5 years now.
Mhm.
I could not tell you the last time I ate chicken. It was
That's
like
occupational
maybe at the
hazard.
beginning.
Yeah,
I
carnivores
don't like
typically
it.
they don't really. I mean, some people will. You can make. I take it back. Like you can make dishes with chicken, like and put like a lot of butter and stuff like that with it, and it's not too bad. If it, I mean, just for
Yeah,
something different, but it's like it's not something that's on the top of people's staples for
no.
sure. Yeah.
And I'll tell you the time, I do remember the times that I did have it. Like I ate and I was full, but have you ever like when you're eating something and you can tell you're like didn't get really what you needed out of it?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
not
Like
that you're
Chinese food.
hungry,
Like when you eat Chinese food, you're
kind
hungry an
of.
hour later. Kind of like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah, but it's like you're not like
Mm-hmm.
craving, but you can tell you didn't give yourself
Mm-hmm.
like because it wasn't that I was like craving something sweet or anything like that
Mm-hmm.
after, but I'm like I feel like I
It just
just really need some
something's
beef,
not right.
like I
Yeah.
need some
Yeah.
real protein here.
Like you ate carnivore cardboard.
Yes, like it was a picture of
Yeah.
a hamburger, but it
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah.
my hamburger.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, and that was unfortunately the about the only meat that I was eating
Wow.
for that whole time. And there was like it was only a little bit. A lot of times, like after like I would say about 3 years in is kind of when I started slipping
Mm-hmm.
because I was kind of tired of eating the same stuff over and over again. And it when I try tell people that, they're like, "Well, then what's so different about carnivore?" I'm like, "Because you get nutritional satisfaction when you have the
Mm-hmm.
carnivore. When
Mm-hmm.
you're eating nothing but little bits of non-nutritive food, like let's just call it what it is, ultra-processed
Mm-hmm.
crap, and you're eating vegetables and stuff like that, but not only is there not enough bioavailable
Mm-hmm.
in them, like you're not getting things. So
Mm-hmm.
that
And
I
the
really
fat
feel like it made it
avoidance.
worse. And no
Yeah, and the
fat.
fat, and when
Like
you avoid fat, you're going to be hungry all the time. You're going to be eating all the time. Did you get to a point where you started putting in more than you should put in? Because I know that's the thing
in
that
a
a lot of them do.
sitting, not in a
Or just
sitting
not in a sitting, but like through the day, you started
through
eating
the
more
day.
often.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, because I really even now if I don't eat slow, like there
Mm-hmm.
was I'm gonna say it was probably about a month ago. Um, I had fasted for like almost 2 days, not on purpose. I just
Mm-hmm.
really wasn't feeling, all that hungry. And it's like, well, I haven't done a
Mm-hmm.
fast in a really long time.
Yeah.
I'll just go ahead until I feel hungry. And I went to try to eat, but by the time I did actually go to eat, which is just my ground beef and butter and salt,
Mm-hmm.
um, I got about 2 bites in, but I tried to go faster because I
Mm-hmm.
was hungry, like over hungry
Oh
at that
yeah,
point.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And one of the things you get if you don't chew your food really, really, really good and eat slow, because it takes me, I do one meal a day. It takes me anywhere from a half hour or 45 minutes to eat that meal because
Okay.
I know I got to go slow
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't, and you'll end up with if you don't chew it up good enough, like a blockage almost.
Oh,
But
okay.
you can feel it like feels like it's stuck, and
Mm-hmm.
it hurts, and you like constantly feel like you need to get it up, and usually you end up having to go and get it up because it won't go through.
Oh
So you
wow.
really have to like I didn't have an issue with stretching. I
Okay.
know I didn't
Okay.
like because I can still feel it even today if I overdo it or go
Yeah.
too fast. Um, but I can see how it would be because and I think the biggest mistake of all is not getting to the root of it, which is the carbohydrates trigger cravings.
Mm-hmm.
And it's our operating system. It's not something that's ever going to change. As soon as you put those carbohydrates in,
Mhm.
especially ultra processed ones that have added
Mhm.
bonuses to them, it's going to light that up. And they tell you that that's not the case, that it's your fault, that
Mhm.
you can have anything in moderation. Well, that's bullshit, because I know
Mhm.
for a fact, even right now, if I were to go in there and eat a strawberry, there is enough carbohydrate in there that it is going to trigger me to
Mhm.
want more. And
Yep.
I almost feel like, I don't know this for a fact, but I feel like it almost turns off your common sense, where it tells
Mhm.
you, don't do it. Like, stop, 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 stop. It's like you
Mhm.
don't have a stop button. And
Yeah.
they refuse to acknowledge that it's not you, it's the food that is triggering your body. I
Mhm.
had an endocrinologist one time tell me that, and it kind of made me feel a little bit better, because I felt like a complete failure, because I could never, like, why can't I just have one piece of chocolate and stop?
Mhm.
What is
Mhm.
wrong with me? I'm just, horrible. Why can't, you're a gluttonous pig, right? That's how you
Yeah.
feel about
Yeah,
yourself.
that's the way I felt. Yep.
And he's like, he told me, you could see it that way. He's like, but I want you to look at another perspective. And he kind of got back to the evolutionary need for us to have that trigger when we get carbohydrates, because that's
Mhm.
how we at one point were able to survive and
Mhm.
evolve into what we are now.
Yep. It's true. And that goes back to what we're designed to eat.
Yes.
As one
Yeah.
of the things that was the biggest impact for me was that, I'm ashamed because I'm a chemist and I would look at the back of the packaged food and go, oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh crap. I know what these things are. And I'm like, well, they wouldn't put it in the food if it was going to hurt you. And
And
like,
it's
yeah,
that right there. And then you
yeah.
have doctors and everybody else telling you it's fine in
Mm-hmm.
moderation. And it's like, but
Yeah.
why can't I just stop at moderation
Mm-hmm.
then? And it
Yep.
starts to make it feel like it's all humans. If you're being really honest, and I think that's the
Mm-hmm.
thing that makes me mad the most. Fine, say people can have it in moderation, but be honest about it and say,
Mm-hmm.
but most likely if you eat this, this is what's going to happen. You
Mm-hmm.
can, but this
Mm-hmm.
is what's going to happen. They never
Mm-hmm.
say the quiet part out loud. It's always, no, 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 you should be fine
Mm-hmm.
doing it. And no, no,
Yep.
no, just a little bit's not going to hurt.
Yep. And eating the
Right. In
rainbow. Eating
theory,
the
yeah, eat
Yeah.
the rainbow, which is
They just
okay.
made that one up, like, cause eat the
They really
rainbow,
did.
like, yeah, they
They
really
didn't
did
have a
because
rainbow. We
and
invented the dang rainbow.
first there's the toxins that are in a lot of the
Mhm.
plants, right? I'm a Chafeite. It's like I think plants are trying to kill you.
Girl, the first time I heard
Hell,
you
the
talk
extra
about the
room in
eye
it.
candy, and I was just like,
Yeah, cult
yeah.
member. I got a cult member here. He's right about the whole plants are trying to kill you because there's a lot of toxins, period.
Hmm.
And just that alone, but if you look at the fact that most of the stuff that they say about all the, veggies, oh, this has vitamin A and this has this and this, you can't absorb most of it. A human cannot get that stuff. It's not bioavailable in a lot of cases. Some things are, but
Yeah.
it's not even bioavailable. And fiber
Not
was
to any
something,
like good
yeah.
measure,
And
you know?
fiber's evil incarnate. I mean, fiber, it's like the only reason that people are pushing fiber is because they fed the standard American diet to a generation of people. They got clogged up and couldn't crap, and then they decided to give them fiber to crap like buffalo. But if they didn't have the problem
Hmm.
in the first place, they wouldn't have to do the fiber to make themselves crap. So,
Yep.
just saying.
Yep. They constantly put the cart before the horse, and then it's like,
Yeah.
that's another thing that I'm super mad about, because I had every other diet put in front of me
Mm-hmm.
except for keto and except for carnivore. I didn't
Yeah.
even like, I had heard of Atkins, but in a bad way. Like, the only time I ever heard
Mm-hmm.
it mentioned, one of my family members was talking about somebody she had heard tried it and ended up in the hospital
Yeah.
because of kidney failure. And it's
Yeah.
like,
And their LDL, killed them. They died
oh
because of
God,
their
yeah,
L.
cholesterol, that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
There's just so much that
Yeah.
they've gotten wrong, and it's just like this dogma,
Mm-hmm.
and it just perpetuates. And it makes me so mad, because I know for
Mm-hmm.
me, like I said, I try anything a doctor put in front of me, I would
Mm-hmm.
try it. I would give it my all.
Mm-hmm.
If I had a doctor put keto in front of me,
Mm-hmm.
because I was
Mm-hmm.
keto, like I started keto in 2013, and
Mm-hmm.
all the way up until 2024 is when I started carnivore. Um, I would have tried keto and it would have
Mm-hmm.
worked. Like it
Mm-hmm.
would have worked. I know it would
Yeah.
because I've done it and I've seen it and I know
Mm-hmm.
how you feel and the changes that, you go through. I think probably, it's making everybody understand that transition, especially going from the garbage that everybody's used to eating now.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna go through withdrawals. Stop saying sugar isn't a drug. It's a drug. If it if
Mm-hmm.
it's something like whenever I hear people talk about, oh, I can't go without my sweets. I need my sweets. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. Can you go without eating a chicken breast? And they're like, oh yeah. I'm like, okay, well, do you think you can go without your iced coffee that's like 80 grams of sugar? I have to have my sweet treat.
Yeah.
That's an addiction then.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
addicted. It's not
Mm-hmm.
something you need, but
Mm-hmm.
you're addicted
Yeah.
to it up here. You're telling yourself
Yeah.
that you can't because you can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I haven't had real sugar in, well, let's see. Even before I started keto, I stayed away from sugar because I got the dumping
Mm-hmm.
syndrome with the bypass.
Oh, okay. Explain what that is now that you brought that up. Like, explain what
Mm.
dumping is for the audience.
Okay, so one of the things, because you have such a short, when they reattach your small intestine, you don't have that buffer anymore for things to
Mm-hmm.
work their way through before they hit your small intestine. It's right from your stomach to your small intestine. So, something like a simple sugar is readily absorbed way faster than it would normally.
Mm-hmm.
So when it hits, which is doesn't take very long, like
Mm-hmm.
immediately, because like the first time I had it, I started like sweating and shaking. My heart was like racing like crazy.
Oh, wow. That doesn't sound
Um,
comfortable.
I felt like I was gonna throw up. I felt like I was gonna have to like go to the bathroom, like everything possibly, but like it almost felt like a panic attack,
Mm-hmm.
but way worse because it like hits so fast and they're like what it is because they warn you ahead of time, like you might have dumping syndrome, so you're
Mm-hmm.
kind of halfway expecting it, but then like when it happens you're like, oh my god, what do you do? And literally all
Mm-hmm.
you can do is just wait for it to pass, like,
Yeah. Ugh.
and it's bad, like it's bad.
Mm-hmm.
um but you kind of feel like you're gonna die a little bit, and which
Yeah.
was kind of nice for me, so I got away from real sugar, but I went to
Mm-hmm.
the artificial sweeteners then.
Mm-hmm. And those
And
cause the same cravings that the
they,
sugar
oh, a
did. Because I learned
million
that.
percent.
I just got off of stevia. I've been on stevia for 10 years up until recently. But it wasn't, I wasn't making desserts with it. What I was doing is I put a little bit in the coffee and a little bit in the tea.
Mhm.
And,
Yep.
I started realizing, but this is after 2 years into carnivore, where I noticed, because at the beginning I didn't have any problems with it at all. It's like I'm not eating sugar, whatever. It didn't make me think about food. I didn't have food noise. But about 2 years in, I was like, I would notice I'm like, I want a sweet, some kind of something, or I kept wanting the tea. It
Yep.
wasn't the tea. Tea tastes like crap. I wanted the sweet tea. I wanted the stevia in the tea, or I wanted the stevia. And now I still do like coffee because I put cream in it, but I don't have the stevia in it at all. And the
Hmm.
sweeteners got me back on the tricycle because I was off. And then it over time, and then also it doesn't taste as sweet after a while. Like you have to put
Yep.
more in to make it for you to taste it. And I'm like, oh crap. I'm like, 10
Hmm.
years of this stuff, because I was on keto before I was on carnivore. I'm like, 10 years of this
Yeah.
crap. I need to stop it. So I did, and I realized the food noise stops immediately. So you're absolutely right
Yeah.
about that.
I know for a fact that like I've had it happen to me, and I recognize it even more now since doing the carnivore.
Mm.
Because when I did keto, I'll admit I did all the keto treats, and I tried the making the,
Same here.
yeah, because you tell yourself, because you
Hmm.
just kind of go with it and
Hmm.
you're just like, well, it's
Hmm.
keto, it's
Well,
fine. It
People
says
believe net
keto on the box.
and people believe net carbs are real. Like I did. I didn't
Me
really look in it
too.
too much. Like, yeah, it's like you think it's a real thing, and it's actually a
Hmm.
marketing slogan. It has no bearing in science at all. Basically, it's
Yeah.
it's a tiny piece of like a truth that we don't process fiber the same way. It's like, okay, that's true, but still,
Hmm.
net carbs are not a thing. It's 17
It
carbs. It's
still
17
goes
carbs.
in
You know?
there. Like as long as it goes in there, it's
Yeah.
gonna have an effect. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's what people, are really tricked into, believing that it's like they just put inert gas, in there. It's like, oh, it's
It's like,
totally fine. No, it's really not
yeah.
how it works.
Yeah.
Like you put
Yeah.
something in,
Mm.
something's gonna happen. Like it doesn't
Y-
just, go through with a
Yeah.
shield around it.
Well, you know
Something
what's funny?
happens.
And this goes back to when you're obese and you're desperate to lose weight and stuff. I used to actually imagine if I could just chew food and spit it out. And I don't know how many. I
Girl,
was like, God, I'm crazy. Like nobody thinks that. And I did, and I'm like,
I
but it doesn't
actually
work.
did
It doesn't
it.
work. It
That was
doesn't
one of the
work.
things that I did. It was like during my high school thing, like so like when we would have like a birthday party or something and we would have cake or ice cream or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, I would literally, be like, yeah, I'll take the piece of cake or whatever. And because
Mm-hmm.
it's always like, you're not gonna have any? Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I'll take it. So
Yeah.
I would go and literally take like a paper cup or something,
Mm-hmm.
and bite it and spit it
Yeah.
until
Yeah.
and everybody thinks you ate with them, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like, okay, I got my taste, but
Mm-hmm.
how
Yeah,
long
it
can
doesn't
you?
work. It doesn't work though. It's like
You're
because
gonna swallow
you
it.
gotta swallow, or it's just it's not working. You know what I
No,
mean? So
no,
it's like,
it's like, I don't know.
yeah,
It just yeah, it doesn't work
yeah.
that way.
I
Like
thought
you
about
got the
doing that with
taste, you
all
gotta
food.
swallow. With what?
I thought about doing that with all food. Like, oh yeah, I'll just chew it and I'll spit it out. I'm like, I don't remember
No,
what year this was, but I'm like, man, you really need to find a solution for this weight problem because you're going
yeah.
off the chain. You know,
Well,
it's
because
like,
it's like you try to reconcile with yourself, like a
mm-hmm,
way to do it to still get it, but not
mm-hmm,
have it
mm-hmm.
affect you
Just
because
like a junkie, just like a junkie
yes,
would.
I wish they would classify it as an
Yeah,
addiction because they
yeah.
tell so many people that it's not.
Mhm.
It'd be like telling a heroin addict heroin's not addictive.
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
have a little. It should
Mhm.
be fine. Just
And
do a little.
if you getting up in the middle of the night and your house coat and slippers and your hair and curlers and you're going to the Circle K to grab a bonbon, it's like yeah, that's addictive behavior. Like,
Hmm.
it's like
Yeah,
you
going out
gotta
of your
have it.
way.
Like 3 o'clock in the morning, it's like I gotta have it. Or you watch a commercial for Wendy's and like all of a sudden you gotta have a Frosty and you'll do anything to
And
go
the
get
French
it.
fries.
Yeah, and
Hmm.
you'll spend $30 on DoorDash to have that delivered. That's an
Oh,
addiction.
thank God they did not have DoorDash when oh my God,
Oh,
it would have been
I
so much
know.
worse.
I would have been bankrupt. Like if it would have
Yeah,
been, I would
that
have been doing
too.
that then.
I see people talking about the cost of fast food and how all this stuff is getting
Mm-hmm.
so expensive, and I'm just sitting over here like, no problems. I don't even know what y'all talking about. Because it's like
Uh-huh.
I can literally feed us. We go to Aldi. I think I paid like about $27 for 4.5 pounds of hamburger. I get
Mm-hmm.
the Irish butter and
Mm-hmm.
salt, and I get our eggs, and occasionally I want salmon. It's like hit or miss
Mm-hmm.
with that one. I really do just kind of wait and
Mm-hmm.
see what sounds good. 9 times out of
Mm-hmm.
10, it's going to be ground beef. I haven't had a single steak this whole time. It's been ground beef has been my beef.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but like we spend less now than even before all
Mm-hmm.
this inflation and stuff. Like it's crazy when I hear how much people or even see the price of something. We got
Mm-hmm.
on the subject, my mom and sister were over, and like I couldn't tell you when the last time I bought like candy bars or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
they tried telling me, they're like, yeah, candy bars, they had like 6 packs on sale for like $5. So I was like,
Mm-hmm.
what? Six candy bars is $5?
Yeah.
Why are they like, that's
Yeah.
really expensive? Like, no, it's
Yeah.
really actually not. Like now it's like $9 for a 6 pack. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like,
Yep. Yeah.
$9 for six? Why are you paying to poison
Yeah.
yourself? Like, come on
Mm-hmm.
now. This is why you
And
can't
my
afford
mom.
groceries.
Yep. And my family, the rest of my family are standard American dieters, and they have
Oh,
literally $1,000 worth of condiments in there.
I
So
believe
it's like
it.
in my fridge at any
Same.
given time.
Yeah,
Yep. So
I
it's
feel the
way
same.
cheaper when you go carnivore. If everybody's eating carnivore, it's like it is way cheaper, actually.
It's
That's
so
what I
much.
found, you know. And
Yeah,
meat is expensive now. It's more expensive, but it's like that's
right.
all you're eating. You're not eating all the other stuff. So you're going through the honeymoon period, the 2 years, and you're eating the junk that they're giving you.
Mm-hmm.
And everything's going fine. When did it start to go south? So
Mm,
when did things start to have problems? When did you start to have problems?
um, really, I think when I would say I started to gain because I was starting to eat things that I knew I really shouldn't, but at the time it was something easy that I could eat and it wasn't like blah. And so I was reaching back toward chips and crackers and stuff that I would eat and it
Mhm.
would turn to mush. Mashed potatoes, I would kind of going more toward the comfort thing for me because I had kind of stalled out with the weight loss. I wasn't
Mhm.
really able to get, I think the lowest I got with the bypass was 889. And I'm like sitting here like, okay, I'm following. Why am I not losing anymore? Well, that's
Mhm.
stupid. It's because you've been starving yourself for 3 years and your body's finally been like, pump them hate brakes
Mhm.
because like I'm done.
And
I can't lose anymore.
what weight did you say you got to the lowest?
Like 189.
Oh, 189. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I hit
Yeah.
that plateau and I wasn't going anywhere.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I kind of got in the mindset where it's like, well, I'm probably just going to stay this weight. I'll just.
Mhm.
What they also don't tell you is that your body adjusts. Like after a certain point of time, your body adjusts, your metabolism adjusts to try to
Mhm.
save that. So as soon as you start eating the things that you're not supposed to, I shouldn't say immediately, but like you think you're safe because you had the surgery and I'm not going to absorb all those calories that they warned me about.
Mhm.
And so you start eating, and it's it's a handful here. Like when I had my son, my middle son, it really started to where, and that's the problem is too, is they tell you need to eat 6 to 8 times a day, small meals, 6 to 8
Mhm.
times a day. I felt like that was all
Mhm.
I was doing at points because it's really what I was doing. But it went from being the protein shakes or whatever that they tell you to do at the beginning to I'm just gonna have what's quick and to like God, what was it that I would still do like iced coffee or something in the morning. I would have my coffee, but
Mhm.
I was buying like the International Light, the sugar free
Oh, I
creamers.
remember those. Yep. Yep.
Oh my God. And I would like drink those constantly. So
Mhm.
the slurry that ended up being. And like then it was chips and crackers and basically anything that was real easy for me to just grab and I'd eat a
Mhm.
handful here. But then the problem is 15, 20 minutes later, I'm going back and grabbing another handful because I'm still hungry because you're
Mhm.
not actually getting any nourishment. You're getting all the triggers to make you want to eat. And then on top of
Mhm.
that, your body's been starving for 3 years. So now you're just
Yep.
trying to fill that void with whatever you can get. And it's like your body and your mind are not communicating anymore. It's just
Mhm.
your mind's going off the triggers saying, "Ooh, this tastes good. Let's get more because I need more." And
Mhm.
your body's crying because it's not getting what it needs, even though you're putting all
Yep.
this in. It's like the worst case of being overfed and undernourished. You're
Mhm.
constantly putting in, and your body's trying all it's hard as it possibly can to store everything that you're putting in, which is I'm sure why I hit
Mhm.
that plateau and couldn't go anywhere. But then, now I'm just like, to heck with it. What good
Mhm.
is this surgery if I can't eat and have it
Yeah.
magically not count?
After you hit your plateau, like how long did it take for you to start gaining again?
It
So
was
when
a
did you
slow
start
creeper.
gaining weight? Okay. Yeah.
It was a slow creep. Like I probably was putting on a couple pounds here and there, but it was like right after I had my son, so I still had my
Mhm.
maternity
Yeah.
clothes.
Mhm.
And then so I probably gained 30 pounds with my second pregnancy. After, because the first pregnancy, my oldest, he was not before the bypass, he was after. So my second two
Okay.
are all after the bypass. So I probably
Mhm.
gained 30 pounds with my middle son. And then I immediately got pregnant with my daughter. So my son was born in 2010, March, and then my daughter was born in November 2011. So I had them back to
Wow.
back.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a
And
lot.
that, like, coming into a pregnancy when you're severely undernourished, because I didn't
Oh
realize
yeah.
that's what I was.
Mhm.
And then you have the pregnancies and you're not taking like the supplements that you should be taking. It wrecked my body. I had like the feeling like where something was stuck in my stomach. It was
Mhm.
like a stabbing pain, but I knew I hadn't eaten anything and it wouldn't come
Mhm.
up, and I couldn't even get water down. I could not eat.
Oof.
Ended up in the ER 3 different times total on an IV because I was dehydrated, couldn't keep anything down. And they really didn't do anything other than like some lab work. Like they didn't do like an ultrasound to see if there was a
Mhm.
blockage, anything. They basically told me it's probably a virus and it just needs to work its way through. I'm like, cool,
That's
for
their
a month,
favorite
all right.
line. It's probably a
It really
virus
is.
or
It's
yeah.
just
Mhm.
viral. It'll go away.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so they had done some lab work and everything for my blood. That's when I ended up finding out that I was like severely anemic. My B12 was almost non-existent, and so wasn't my iron.
Mm.
Um, so I realized at that point that's probably why all my hair fell out. Ended up
Oh.
finding out that the reason that I was craving the ice, constantly chewing ice and menthol cough drops, which
Mhm.
destroyed my teeth. Ended up having to have, bottom dentures and a partial up top because everything was breaking. One, because I
Wow.
didn't have,
Yeah.
everything had been drained from my body basically.
Mhm.
Um, and so when I was crunching all that and breaking up cold ice with my
Mhm.
teeth, they were just breaking apart. I ended
Mhm.
up having to have
Yeah, and
everything
plus,
cold.
yeah, when you're depleted of like you don't get the right nutrition, it's like your
Hmm.
teeth are not going to last very long. Oral health is going to be a
No.
problem. So
Yeah.
that's crazy.
The
Yeah.
everything, like my hair, I used to have so much hair. And like I would have to go, which it's pretty much back to where it was before now,
Mhm.
since Carnivore. But I remember at one point, like I could hold my hair up with one little ass bobby pin, like take it and pin it up in the back, and that would be all my hair.
Oh,
One bobby pin.
wow.
Now it's like I
Wow.
pull out the entire hair
Yeah.
salon when I try to take my hair down, and um,
Mhm.
so that's finally gotten, but like my nails were like they were so bad that they would like you touch, like if you try to scratch a sticker or something off or whatever,
Mhm.
like my nails would just start flaking and breaking. Like it was
Yeah.
awful. My skin was like severely dry. I would have um like acne and stuff.
Mhm.
Um, and just the tired. Oh my God, so tired. Like I didn't have any energy. I had this skinny new body that I should be able to go out and enjoy life with, and it's like
Mhm.
I just feel like a slug.
So that's where the genie comes in, where the medical industrial complex kind
Hmm.
of grants your wish. Yes, you'll be skin. It's like, but they give you a gold head, so it's like you can't,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. It's like, well, you can't enjoy it or anything.
But finding the right supplements that are actually stuff that I can absorb, finding the
Hmm.
right version of your supplement that's actually something your body can use. Like it's taken me years and it trial and error and spent so much money and wasted so much money. Like for the iron, for example, um, they just told me to get the over the counter and it hurt my stomach so bad. I would take it and I knew
Hmm.
immediately as soon as it hit my stomach because it would just be like the most horrendous pain. And then couldn't go to the bathroom. Like you get constipated from it.
Hmm.
And I hated the iron. I hated it, but they basically told me take it or you're gonna die.
Hmm.
B12 wasn't as bad, even though it took me to now. Now I do the sublingual ones where they dissolve under your tongue.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's taken me lots and lots of my own research and time for me to find out that since I have the bypass, even though I'm popping all these pills, I could take 100 pills a day. As soon as it hits where it's not hitting anymore, I ain't gonna digest it.
Mm-hmm.
I can take it in all day. I'm never gonna digest what I put in to go down to my stomach. So I
Yeah.
found out about the sublingual. Now I'm good on that. But the iron was the one I was super excited about to try for carnivore. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I stopped. I stopped taking the iron supplement because I was like, I'm eating so much
Yeah.
red meat now. It's not gonna have any choice but to absorb it, you know? So
Yeah.
I did for like the year. I went without taking any iron supplements, and I felt okay. Like I didn't notice
Mm-hmm.
anything because, like,
Mm-hmm.
honest to
And that's
God, when you
after
go
carnivore.
carnivore, this was
Yeah,
a
that's
year into
after your
carnivore.
carnivore. Okay. Okay.
Even with being super low, because when I got tested, like the lowest range on the test that they used for me was 20. I
Mm-hmm.
registered it at 22.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, the highest was like, I think 150 you could go. So I was like, okay, so I am still gonna have to supplement. But even at that point, um, like, because they tell you to watch for low energy and all these different things,
Mm-hmm.
like, carnivore, unfortunately, I think hit it a little bit because I still had all this energy. The only thing I could think of that was maybe a clue that it was getting too low again,
Mm-hmm.
um, would be occasionally, like, if I was going up and down the stairs in the morning, but I kind of thought it was an electrolyte issue, I would
Mm-hmm.
feel like I was a little bit out of breath. But it was only like certain
Okay.
times, so I'm just like, oh, I just need to get some of my electrolytes in
Mm-hmm.
me, you know? So
So,
when
so
they,
when to back up a little bit, like
Mhm.
so, you had this all these problems, right? And then what was the actual time that you decided to go carnivore? Like, what was it exactly that got you to go to carnivore? Like, change to try
um,
that.
well, so in after I found like, and I started taking my supplements more serious,
Mm-hmm.
after I had my daughter is when I had gotten up to like 254 pounds. Um,
Okay.
so that's when I started kind of getting into keto,
The keto
which,
first. Yeah.
yeah, I did that, started
Mm-hmm.
2013, did amazing on it. Like I lost all the weight,
Mm-hmm.
felt really good. I wasn't, but I was also eating more meat than I had in years. Like I did all the veggies. Like my favorite thing in the world was like salad with some chicken on it and
Mm-hmm.
ranch dressing. Go with that this time because I can have that now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I remember those
cheese
days.
and yeah,
Yeah.
bacon. Like I can have all this stuff and heck yeah, I could eat
Mm-hmm.
it and I love the way it tastes. And guess what? Now I'm losing weight. Like this is witchcraft, you know?
Yeah.
And but I was still having like, so a big part after the surgery, I would say, because I don't really remember having too much trouble before, was like constipation and bloating, like
Mm-hmm.
constantly, like every day.
Yep.
There'd be times that I would go 2 weeks without going to the bathroom, and then
Oh,
the only way
okay.
I was able to go was with laxatives. Like
Yeah.
I literally was on laxatives constantly and just constantly like felt like I was 6 months pregnant because of the bloating was so
Mm-hmm.
bad. Um,
Yep.
and so keto helped me fix like the, um, you know, nutritional aspect part of it, I would say more so
Mm-hmm.
because I was finally eating more of,
Mm-hmm.
but I was also still eating a lot of vegetables.
Okay.
Um, Not a lot, but like lettuce all the time, the
Mm-hmm.
bell peppers, and I was having my onions and
Mm-hmm.
tons of cauliflower.
Yep.
So I was still experiencing the bloating and constipation
The
that never went
fiber,
away.
the fiber,
Oh my
yeah,
God.
yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah,
was that
yeah,
was their biggest suggestion
yeah.
constantly. If they didn't tell me to take Miralax twice a day every day to fix the problem, they
Mm,
were telling me that I needed more fiber.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
listened like an
Mm-hmm.
idiot and would, do
We
it
all
and it would
did.
make it so
Yeah,
much worse, like so much worse. And it's like,
yeah,
oh my God, what is wrong? I knew part of it had to
yeah.
be surgery, but like doesn't matter. I need to figure out what's going
Mhm.
on.
So,
Well,
so what? So you're going through this and keto helps. That's the same story I've got too. It's kind of like helps,
Hmm.
but then it doesn't do everything. So then when
Yes.
did the transition to carnivore, like how did that come about?
Um, I had, like I said, I've been looking for, something like, actually, I was looking for something I could take to help me with the indigestion part because I knew it was,
Mm-hmm.
from my digestion. But then YouTube is really what led me
Mm-hmm.
to where I am now because I saw experience from people because you know damn well I wasn't getting it from a doctor.
No.
Like I had to go find it on YouTube with people like me, you, and everybody, these normal people
Mm-hmm.
out there with the help of some good doctors,
Mm-hmm.
um, putting this information out, talking about their experiences. And Dr. Barry was one of my big, like, I followed him from keto, like, he's
Mm-hmm.
keto and then he switched carnivore. And at the time, I was like, he was talking about all these different benefits and things like that. And I'm like, man, I just don't think can't just eat
Mm-hmm.
meat. Like, I want my
Yeah.
veggies too.
Yeah. That
And
salad dress. You wanted that salad
yeah,
dressing
well, and
in the
that's what it
salad.
is. When it came down to
Yeah.
it, when I really looked back,
Yeah.
it wasn't that I wanted the salad. I wanted the dressing on it. I wanted the
Yeah.
cheese on it. I wanted the
Mm-hmm.
bacon on it. All these
Yeah.
things that were like flavor bombs for me.
Yeah.
Because if I'd have taken it all away, I wouldn't have wanted just chicken and lettuce. You know,
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right.
it's that craving part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had seen the Dr. Berry switch to carnivore, and for like probably 2 weeks to maybe a month, I molded over. I'm like, man, I can't. I don't know. I don't know if I
Mm-hmm.
can just give up and just have only meat.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd had like another bout, I'm sure, where I, went for a couple weeks where I couldn't go to the bathroom, and I'm like, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Screw it. I'm gonna try it. And at the time, uh, I was not a fan of hamburger. Like if I ate it, I had
Ah.
to have it with ketchup and mustard and onion and
Mm-hmm.
pickle and cheese and,
Mm-hmm.
wrapped in a lettuce.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I didn't want to just eat hamburger by itself.
Yeah. I'll bet that changed.
Oh man.
I'm
And
gonna
when it
bet.
did, I'll tell you, I was probably the most surprised person in the world when I tasted it, and it was just like,
Mm-hmm.
this tastes so good
That
now.
like
I
that's
don't
food of the
understand.
gods. Food of the
Yeah, food of
gods.
the
Yeah.
gods.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
exactly what I
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
And so for the when I first tried the carnivore, something that I knew I could do that I liked was eggs because everybody kept talking about, eggs. So I did.
Mm-hmm.
I did started with like hard boiled eggs, and I would have it with a little bit of butter and salt.
Mm-hmm.
And I got about 3 days, and I like eggs. That wasn't something
Mm-hmm.
that was hard to do. Um, but about 3 days in, like that third morning, I got up and I was able to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
Like without any, laxatives, nothing. And I remember telling my husband, I was like, I was able to go to the bathroom. Like I felt to come on and everything. Like I didn't even, and he's like,
Yeah.
wow. I'm like, yeah, like there might be something to this.
Mm-hmm.
So I continued, and for like 2 weeks, that's all I had for like 2 weeks was eggs
Mm-hmm.
and a little bit of butter and salt.
How did you
Um,
feel like energy wise at that point?
oh my God. So
Uh,
like keto's great, and I probably didn't give it a fair shake because of all the bullshit
mm-hmm.
keto I was adding to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But I know I still would have had the digestion problems. So keto was great for energy. Felt great at that point in time. It was the best
Mm-hmm.
I'd ever felt until I felt carnivore.
Yeah.
And it was like the best I could explain was like bottled electricity. Like
Mm-hmm.
part of my job, I work in a warehouse, but part of my job is sitting at a desk and doing
Mm-hmm.
computer work. And when I tell you, like, you have like just this energy, and sometimes it's like, you're sitting there and you're trying to concentrate, but at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, you're just like, man, I just. So
Mm-hmm.
I would, to kind of quell that, when I was on my breaks and on my lunch specifically, I would like work out and
It makes you want to work
one
out, definitely.
oh, you
Yeah.
have like you kind of have
Yeah.
to. You feel
Yep.
like Like, I just got to go do something. You feel like
Yeah.
this like 3-year-old again, where you're like, I just want to
Mhm.
go. I just want to go. And that's what I did. So when I was on my breaks and lunches and stuff like that, I would just like do laps. And at one point, I was running and kind of got in trouble because you're not supposed to run. It's safety, whatever. But I could at least still do laps.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
brought weights and my yoga mat to work with me. Eventually, I brought my kettlebell. Now I do kettlebell. Like that's
Mhm.
my. I'm telling you right now, kettlebell is like numero uno. There's nothing
Mhm.
better.
Mhm.
But so I was bringing them to work with me so that I would be able to do
Wow.
that.
Mhm.
And you know, it was just like nothing I'd ever. And you cannot fully explain it to someone unless they've experienced
Mhm.
it. Because as
I
soon as
know.
you tell them, they're like,
Yep.
"Yeah, I know exactly
Yep.
what you mean." But if they
40,
haven't,
40. I've gone 42 hours without sleep accidentally because carnivore gives you that much energy.
yeah,
And I'm like, and that's terrible. Don't do that. Bad, bad,
no.
bad, bad.
But let me
But
ask you
I
something
wouldn't been
though.
able to do that if it wasn't for carnivore.
Not and feel good, like you'd be
Mm-mm.
dragging ass
No.
the whole
Yeah.
time and miserable,
Yeah.
right?
Yep. Yep.
So let me ask you something, and this because
Mhm.
this is something that I'm really not worried about it anymore. At first I was, but so when you go to bed,
Mhm.
before I would sleep very restlessly, like
Mhm.
any little thing would wake me up. Now, like when it's time for me to go out, like I'm out
It
and
puts
but
you
I'm
out. Yep.
yeah, like out.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I usually, like, I have been for the last 2 years, like, I feel fantastic. I'm only getting like 5 hours of sleep, but I
Mhm.
sleep so hard in those 5 hours. I think that's because I have
Mhm.
no energy lag. Like, it's
Mhm.
been consistent. I feel good.
Yep.
It's not like a dragging, like, oh, I feel like I
Mhm.
need more rest. None of that.
Yep.
So I don't know if it's because I'm sleeping harder. Have you experienced anything like that?
I think it's kind of like your body works the way it should. Like if you get that feeling where it's time to go to bed. Like I never wanted to go to bed, so now just because I never wanted to go to bed, like
Yeah.
I was always tired, but I couldn't sleep and I couldn't get to sleep and I was anxious and stuff. Now it's like a transmission goes out and it's like time to go to bed. You're going down. You're going down in the chair or you're going down into bed. Like you pick
Yep.
where you want to go because you're going. And I go to sleep and I wake up very early at like 5. So,
Oh
but I'll go to bed
gosh.
at like 10. So but it's
Mm,
now
that makes me feel
to
better.
yeah, so to wrap this up, like just basically put a bow on it kind of. So carnivore, you're thriving. You look great. You look really great.
Thank
So
you.
you're
It's
thriving and it seems to be doing really well for you. Um
amazing. Amazing.
so with respect to this surgery, like what would you say before and after to anybody that's considering doing this? Like what would be your final words on like, before and after? Like if you haven't had it yet, this is my advice. And
Don't
if you
do
have
it.
had it yet, this is my advice. So,
If you have
yeah.
not had, because I do not push my views on anyone. If
Mhm.
someone asks me, it's a different story.
Mhm.
The only time I have ever kind of stuck my neck out and like gave my opinion without it being asked was when I heard someone talking about wanting to do the bypass.
Mhm.
Do not do it. It is not worth it. Um, Even going keto, especially carnivore, like you're gonna lose that weight almost as fast as you would with the bypass. There is not a
Mhm.
question, no doubt in my mind. You're gonna lose it, but and the thing with the bypass is once you have it, there's no going back, and you are literally tethered to supplements for the rest of your life because it
Yep.
takes away your ability. I told you before, my biggest regret through all of this is I will never know carnivore with a full digestive system. Like I will
Yeah.
only
Yeah.
know it with an altered digestive
Mhm.
system. I cannot even
Yeah.
imagine how good I feel now, how good
Mhm.
I would feel if all I had like the freedom. I have freedom from food now. What I
Mhm.
don't have freedom from is the things that I'm not able to absorb now. Now
Yeah.
I'm tethered
That's
to
true.
that and I'm bound to
Yeah.
that. And like
Yeah.
It's the part that makes me want to cry because it's like I have all this
Mm-hmm.
food freedom and all this energy, but
Yeah.
yet I still have to be like this mad scientist when it comes to,
Mm-hmm.
making sure I have my blood work done every year and then adjusting my supplements and things like that to, okay, do I need to add more? Do I
Yeah.
need to
Yeah.
change the timing? Do I need to not take it with this? Do I need
Yeah.
to,
Yeah.
not have food with it, have food with it? It's like you
Yeah.
literally have to constrain yourself to taking, because there is no getting away from it. There is no if
Yep.
and or but. You're going to die. If you don't, you're
Mm-hmm.
going to slowly fall apart and you're
Yep.
going to die if you don't do it.
Afterwards, like, I'm going to guess that you'd recommend that definitely carnivore is one of the ways to actually manage this, like the
I think it's the only
aftermath.
way. I will be
Okay.
100% honest. To me, it's like I said, I feel like it's almost malpractice for someone to go to a doctor after having a bypass because they know. They may not say it in so many words, but they call it, you don't absorb calories. There's no
Mm-hmm.
such thing as a calorie. Your body runs off the
I
nutrients you
know.
put in.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
just change the word calorie to you can't absorb nutrients anymore because
Mm-hmm.
that's
Yep.
100% what it is. So anyone that's had it, you have to 100% focus on every single thing that you put in your mouth has to be as nutrient dense as possible.
Yep.
I
That
have
makes
to take
perfect sense.
enzymes in order to break it down because they took
Mm-hmm.
away the ability for me to
Yep.
naturally break things down. And
Yeah.
then they took away the ability for me to absorb the stuff that it could break down. So,
Yeah.
now I'm bound to enzymes to make sure everything is broken down as much as possible so I can get as much as possible because you won't. There is no
Mm-hmm.
if and or but about it. You will not get what you need if you don't put as much as you possibly can nutrient wise in your body
Yep.
every single day. And then you still have to supplement on top of that.
Yep.
So don't do it. Please, please, please. I'm begging you, just learn from my mistakes. I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate the weight loss that came from it, but knowing now what I know, I could have had the
Mm-hmm.
results, but even better because,
Yep.
like, the things that they don't talk about is cravings. You're still going to have those cravings, thinking you're going to get
Mm-hmm.
that surgery and those
Yeah.
cravings are going
And
to
the
go
root
away.
cause the root cause has to be addressed. So
Yes.
once and for all, and you have to kind of
Yeah.
do the work. So,
They need
but
to say that quiet part out loud.
yeah,
You
and
can't
they
fix
won't.
that without
They
the
won't.
addressing that root cause. And
Yeah.
we know
Yeah.
there's no question. Like they
They're
can
not
try to
going
deny
to.
it and
Yeah.
say that, oh, you can have. No, no. Be honest with yourself. If you
Yeah.
can't put one piece of chocolate in your mouth and walk away, if you're going
Mhm.
to sit there and eat the whole bag, you can't have any because the same
Yeah.
thing is going to happen no matter what. You
Yeah.
put that one piece and you're going to put another. Whatever
Yeah.
is your, trigger, the
And we
thing that you're
all we
addicted to.
all we've all been there, so we understand
Yeah,
that. But
it's
thank you so much for doing this. I think this is going to help a lot of people who
I
might
really
be
hope so.
considering that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and again, like you got to come on again, and like I'm sure there's much more that we didn't cover, but
There's so much, and I
um
know I
yeah.
I
No,
warned
no,
you about
no.
the
This is
rambling, and
great.
it's like, oh, okay, get back on track,
Oh no,
woman. Come
no,
on.
that's not. No, that's not rambling. Like what I do is rambling. It's like I do the
I like
blonde rambling,
it.
but thank you so much for coming on. And you have a Facebook, and I think
Mhm.
that I'm gonna put in the comment section. So if anybody, or not comment section, the description section, if
Yes.
anybody wants to reach out or whatever, and that would be great. And I
Yeah.
will see all of you guys the next
Yes.
time.
Yes. Thank you
Bye.
so much.
You are welcome. Thank you
Okay.
for coming.
No
Bye bye.
problem. Glad to. Bye.